Right. Oh, God. There we go. Where are we? Let's turn the volume down. Hey. There we go. Hi, guys. I think we're live. No, that's not the one. Oh, dear. Bear with me. There we go. How are we doing? How are we all enjoying the sunshine? Probably talking to myself because everyone's out just soaking up the last couple of minutes of it. My camera look really grey. Think I've seen worse. Right, let's see if Facebook's up and running. Down there. And no, still no notifications.
I'm here.
He's back.
Get all my bits in order. Right, I need to just say if it's just right. I think we're ready to go. Are you ready?
I'm good to go, my man.
Go time. Good evening, Maz. I think that says Maz. That does say Maz. Thank you.
It's now time for you to sit back in your chair and relax. Let your mind is the deepest, darkest parts of your brain. Let Russ take you on a journey through the unexplained.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to Journey Through the Unexplained. Well, I couldn't rasp today. I don't know I'm going to get the rasp. Through the Unexplained. That's a bit better. It's the 9th of May, 2024. Welcome to the show, guys. It is the Thursday night where we take our journeys through the world of wackiness beyond and above. And I couldn't do it without my wonderful co-host, Mr. Paranormal Paul.
Hello, good evening. How are we all doing?
All good in the hood. All good in the hood. What weather we are having. We think we're on the change in the UK.
Yeah, up until Monday, I think. I think it's meant to be raining again Monday, isn't it? But hey-ho.
Well, I've seen reports that over the weekend we're going to be up at the 26s and 27s, aren't we?
Yeah, it's great. It's my daughter's birthday at the weekend, so we'll be partying it away in the sun.
Oh, what more do you want?
Exactly.
Barbecue out.
Yes, I've got to clean that. Oh, God, I've got to clean it, yeah. First one of the year, that'll be.
It's amazing the British Purple keep their barbecue. Last one of the year, don't worry about cleaning it, just stick it back underneath the thing. I just want to say a massive thank you to Philip Solomon that has taken us through the last hour over on Pulse Talk Radio. And if you are joining us over on Pulse Talk Radio, you can also watch us live on Facebook and the wonderful world of YouTube. So if you can go over there, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we shall go from there. But let us know in the chat. I don't know if a notification has come up. I don't know. I say we're getting very much blinkered, aren't we, through the Facebook at the moment?
Yeah, I have to search big time to get the thing up now.
Yeah, I think we are massively being blocked. over on Facebook. So if you're not getting our notifications, I can only apologise. Let's do a quick check to see if we are live on every platform. It's becoming a bit of a pain in the ain, isn't it? Let's just say that. Well, we are.
Yeah, we're
We're
live.
live. We are live. Let's give it a share. Let's see what gets out there. Hey, Mad's got the notification. Apparently, Marianne got the notification. You must be lucky, because I definitely haven't. I used to even get a notification over on YouTube. Don't even get that anymore. Hey ho, we shall carry on. We shall carry on. Hope the people will join us all the way through the program. To be fair, we haven't really got much to talk about. I'll say we haven't got much to talk about. We've always got loads to talk about. But it's where we always start. The starting point. But I'm going to just get on to something that will be a bit tedious for some, I know, but I still think we, because of what we speak about on this show regarding sort of the corruption of everything, really. That me and Paul probably believe more conspiracies than no man, but everything we look at on the telly is a conspiracy. Am I right, Paul? We
Pretty
look
much, yeah.
a lot deeper than most people. But I've got a couple. Okay, I've got a couple. And I want to start with the big elephant in the room at the moment, because I say elephant in the room, but I should think it's more if you're listening in the United States, that obviously you've got the big election coming this year. And I do feel that we've probably got the same sort of thing coming as well in this country. I think we will have an election at some point throughout the year, but it never feels as big as what it does in the United States. And we are told historically that there's only two candidates that run in this election, and it's Mr. Biden and Mr. Trump. Now, I think there's enough people on this show that know my feelings for Mr. Biden, and what I believe that he is. He's a robot. And do I like Mr. Trump? Yeah, I do. I can't say I don't. I don't like everything he does. I don't like his arrogance, but that's him. But me and Paul have sort of noticed this over the last couple of days, that there seems to be a candidate running that has just come out of nowhere. And the opinion polls and the polls they're doing on sort of Fox News, CBS News, all the big outlets are making this candidate polling better than the other two. And that is, well, we're all going to know that, a very, very, very famous surname, as in Robert Kennedy. Robert John Kennedy. Is it Robert John Kennedy or Robert J. Kennedy?
Yeah, Junior.
And his uncle was Kennedy, JFK, who got shot. And there's the massive conspiracy about that.
Which is where the word conspiracy comes from, isn't it?
Well, I think if we might as well delve. Well, we mentioned the name Kennedy. We might as well sort of start on this process, because it all links in, doesn't it? What the theory behind Kennedy's death was one, because he was going to let a lot of Russell. Sorry, my phone's going mad. I can't help it, but I've got one of these things on my arm now for my diabetes.
Oh, yeah.
And it links to my phone. I just hit the Bluetooth thing off, and it started to go mad. That's buzzing. My arm, that's buzzing. So there's no connection to my phone. You're going to die. It don't work like that. It just tells you the blood signals. It's like, I've hit the wrong button. Don't panic, phone. But I think we can, we go down the JFK route. And when he was president, one of the conspiracies behind his shooting was that he was going to let all the evidence out regarding the UFOs, what was hidden and things like that, within the United States. And that's one of the reasons why, one of the conspiracies that why he got shot. I don't know if you've heard anything different, Paul, on that.
Yeah, no, I'd go along with that. I think he also wanted to come away from the central banks, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or the Federal Reserve or something like that. He wanted to change something to do with the dollar, I think. And stop a lot of the wars, the warmongering and the military complex and all that sort of thing, the money that went into it. I think he had a bit of a different stance on that as well, and I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
personally.
And without without going too deep into it, it was like the evidence of how he got shot and things like that. The projectiles of the bullets that hit him and things like that doesn't make sense, does it?
The one person they had for the shooting somehow managed to get shot just before he sort of said his piece and spoke out as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
which is convenient.
And one of the strangest was the missing brain of JFK. Did you ever hear that one?
No.
Now I might not get my facts 100% right, but I do believe that the Kennedy family or his wife was a devoted Catholic, or around that time of she was very heavily in religion, and they wasn't allowed to autopsy or do delve into the body, because it was the religion of that. It was against the wishes of the family. But they did something and they found that his brain went missing. JFK's brain went missing. It wasn't in the body, apparently.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. So why or where, I don't, why I don't. But, I know we're going down a little rabbit hole, but, I think it has a big picture of what to play in this upcoming election, because, the nephew of JFK is now running as an independent for the election of the President of the United States. And is what shocks me the most is how the deep state, for want of a better word, what we say, the under people that run it, are allowing him to get away with what he believes in. He was one of the biggest advocates of the against the vaccine, wasn't he, for COVID? He was totally against it. He did all the research, and and if you listen to him talk, and he explains it in ways that if he gets enough votes and he gets on that platform to debate, it's going to be a big victory. Because
the thing is, he's a lawyer as well, isn't he? So he's got the resources, he's got the data. If he needs to find something out, he'll find it out. So yeah, he don't just spew things; he gets the facts right first.
Yeah, and it's quite surprising because I know one of his policies is that the vaccinations in children, and it plays.
He's advocated for that for a long time. He just wants all the heavy metals and the mercuries and all that sort of coming out of it, because
he wants it tested for autism. Autism. Yeah. He's a strong advocate, and that plays a massive part in my life. With the fact, with my family that I have, and my partner and her child, and she has always advocated that, you know, these vaccines can't necessarily be good, you know, and things like that. But, you know, and he's fighting for that. One of his policies is that he will, if he gets in power, he will make sure that these vaccinations are tested and tested and tested to prove that, well, how do you look at it? To prove that these are safe, that don't cause these issues within children.
Well, it was through him that a lot of vaccines took out the heavy metals and mercuries, but obviously not all of them. Some of them still do. Which that alone, because I didn't realise there was only two things that you couldn't take to court for liability claims, and that was, I think it is a part of the military you're not allowed to take to court over whatever reasons, and vaccine manufacturers. You can't independently prosecute them or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, on mass that they, you know, when they've been found that they've paid fines, vaccine companies, through not so much the harms it's caused, but the way that they advertise them and the way they've fiddled data and things like that. That's, I think, what they've sort of been done by it. And I didn't realise that with vaccines, they don't have a rigorous sort of test like other medicines have to have. Vaccines, don't get me wrong, they're tested, but they're not as rigorous as other medications. I didn't realise that either until watching some of these videos. And that's another thing he wants to change. He wants to make sure everything that's put down as a medication has to go through vigorous testing to make sure they're safe. And it has to be done independently, not from the manufacturers themselves. It has to be 2-3 parties of independent studies, which is only a good thing.
It is only a good thing. It advocates a lot. Heidi has joined us. Good evening, Heidi. Hope you're doing well. Listening all the way from Denmark. But yeah, and he just says a lot of things that, you know, and I think one of the first presidential candidates that I've ever heard talk about green space, as in the green areas of, you know, of America. Now, America is a big old place, and you know, you see a lot of, you know, films and documentaries all based in America, and they've got more land mass than, you know, wherever. But he wants to stop all like the building on these green spaces, and I've never heard a president say that. And everything he's saying is going against the grain of everything that
everyone else is saying.
Yeah. And this is what, you know, and he has a lot of young followers. He's, you know, the younger people out there, the younger generation are, because he's balancing, I think he's very well balanced in how he's coming across within his policies, because I think he's balancing with the people like yourself and I, with, you know, the vaccinations and things like that, you know, the conspiracy theorists, you know, even without saying, you know, really going deep into it, why? And we've all got to be, you know, we're a bit aware that the AstraZeneca has been stopped as of this week because of its findings. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, Mr. Kennedy had anything to do with that, but it seems very strange that we've got a president running for campaign that is very much against it, and it's being stopped. Every little puzzle fits every now and again. Every little bit of puzzle fits.
But I do like a lot of what the man stands for. I mean, he's a very outdoorsy person anyway. He loves nature, you know.
Fitness freak.
He is a fitness freak, you know. He does abseiling. He's done it all. Scuba diving, you know, and he loves nature. And a lot of these lawsuits have been about protecting and preserving nature, but he's also going against the corporation greed. You know, he wants a bit like what we want in this country. To be fair, Russ, he wants the people to have a say in how the country's run, rather than the corporates having the say of how the country's run. You shouldn't have, you know, the MPs and the presidents and that being funded by corporations to impose their will. It shouldn't happen. It should be for the people. And he's very much up for that as well. So, you know, I think I'll be very surprised if he gets in just on that alone. So it will take a lot to stop him, I think.
You know, he has a lot of backing of what do they call it when they, you know, when they look at the age genders, the age gaps of the voters. And I think he outnumbers Biden and Trump put together, with sort of the age between, I think, sort of like the earliest of that 18 or 21 to sort of 30 bracket, of where he's got them people on side with, you know, as you've just said, outdoorsy. He's a fitness freak as well. The video of, you know, he's 71, I think, in his 70s. And, you know, there's videos, I follow him on TikTok, and he's doing like pull-ups on bars. He's doing, you know, really well done for like a 70-year-old person. And he's got all that followers. And then he says things like, obviously, the vaccine, and he's got people like us in the States that will side with him. But the thing is, I don't understand, he doesn't get backing from his name. The Kennedy family haven't backed him on this, have they? His brother.
No, but he does make me laugh, because, you know, he says, I've got a very big family. I think he was saying like 150, you know, with brothers, cousins, kids, nephews, grandkids, and things like that, you know, 150 of them. And he said, you know, with the policies and things that I go for, he said, yeah, every now and then I'll get members of the family that don't agree with what I'm trying to get. But with 150 people there, you're going to have, you know, a difference of opinion. But, you know, he says we still love each other and we talk to each other. We don't fall out over it, which is another thing he wants to bring back, like you said earlier, Russ. You know, he wants to have the debate. You know, what's the word I'm looking for? A democratic debate. You don't have to have fighting and screaming and shouting at each other. You can have a debate with someone, but
I would hate to debate him. I think
if you disagree with him, yeah, but he'd come prepared. He'd get, you know, he'd do his research. He'd have all your facts and figures and statistics there.
I totally agree, and I don't honestly, I think if they got him on that, you know, I know like the presidents, they have the couple of weeks prior where all candidates get on stage and they can have a debate and all that, this, don't they? And, you know, I'd be shocked if he come out in a negative light. I would be shocked, because of the way he addresses people, the way he's not, you know, and, you know, there's a lot of followers of Donald Trump. I get it. I do get it. But as a person, he can become across as very arrogant. He can be very up his own backside. But this gentleman, the Kennedy gentleman, has his policies, but he does it in a way where he doesn't come across as a right utter shit. And, you know, I'm sorry I don't talk about Biden in the matter, because I just don't see how he would be able to debate if they send the Biden that we see on telly up. They'd have to send someone different. But I think if there is enough momentum that gets behind the Kennedy guy in the States, so if you are listening in America, guys, and you want to follow us over on, come and have your, you know, come and have your chat. Come put, you know, do you, what's it like over there? You know, is there a following? Is there a gathering? Is there a momentum for this guy? Because going by, and that's another thing where he gets the young people on side. He's on social media. He's on TikTok saying, we shouldn't be getting rid of this. We should be sticking with this. Why should we get rid of this? It's a freedom of speech platform.
Yeah.
He's this guy that the UK are calling out for that ticks the boxes of the people, for all the wrong reasons, because we know we're getting power and it'll all change. You know, bless you.
Thank you.
Not to say it all changed for the bad, but do you know what I mean? It is one of them things that it's just politics. They say what they want to say at the time, but can they actually get them across the line? No. As I've said to you enough times on this show, if you had someone that come on in our, you know, for our Prime Minister that said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to lower this, I'm going to lower that, none of us would be, it would all be blinkered by what's in his real policies or her policies.
Do you know, I don't know. I mean, I've been following Kennedy Jr. pretty much since the start of the pandemic. Like I say, he was very outspoken about it. And I don't know, he doesn't come across that way. And I think he will, I think he would implement, when you look at his history, and I didn't realise he had such a colourful history. He is like the Aaron Brockovich, you know. Some of the corporations he's took to court and won. I think it was in one of the videos I sent you, Russ, where that one fella who was spraying, was it Monsanto, that company out there, spraying the fields, the crops, and he come out, he basically got skin cancer through the pesticides and that he was spraying. And to the point he couldn't work anymore. And Monsanto were like, well, sorry, that's it, you're gone. You know, we hired you to do the job. If you can't do it, boss, you're out. Well, he took him to court over it, and he won, saying that it was the pesticides that they were spraying that caused the cancer for him. His medical bills were through the roof; he couldn't afford them. So, and he got a huge payout over it. And he took one of the biggest companies in America to court over one person, and he won. I mean, he's done it with a lot of corporations out there. For whatever reason, you know, dumping their waste in the seas, the rivers, and this and that. He's very environmentally friendly, and I think we need something like that. But he does it in a way that isn't going to affect people. You know, you've got your people, you know how I feel. You've got your Bill Gates who thinks that saving the environment means spraying a load of chemicals in the sky. That's not the answer. He's not like that.
And this is where I'm saying he's getting momentum, and he's being allowed to get momentum. That's what rocks me, because I don't quite know how he's being allowed. Now, yeah, when it comes to the crunch, that if he does get on the ballot paper for the president elect, you know, for the elect, then where he goes, that's, you know, if they want someone, for want of a better phrase, to fix it, it's going to be fixed, isn't it? You know, I can't help it, but I do generally believe that, you know, we've had the
same. Look what happened to us with the mayor. I mean, come on.
I was about to say exactly the same thing, but do you not? This has just been swept under the carpet. There's been really no official announcement of. Do you know what I mean? I know it takes weeks.
Because everyone thinks it's a fiddle, Russ. You know, I mean, apparently only 40% of Londoners voted, which I don't know. I know there was a few people that refused to vote because it's just sort of basically refusing to give the governments their consent. You don't govern me, or I ain't voting for any of you. But at the same time, I know so many people that wanted to vote him out. I haven't heard one person say that they were going to vote for him, and yet apparently he won by a massive number.
As I said, I don't live in the borough, so I don't get to vote for the London mayor.
Yeah.
So I can't, obviously, you know, I would have voted against him, obviously, because of what. But it was, I think it was the shot of when was it bin face, whatever it was. Did you see the clip of the bin man? One of the ballots, you could vote for bin face Magoo or somewhere like that.
Oh, right.
And they had to call him out. And he's dressed as a bin. The bloke is dressed as Dusty Bin, you know. And Sadiq Khan turns around and it goes, bin face, Binny Fire, 1,200 votes. and Khan turns around to shake the bin's hand. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, you know, that's what really made me laugh. I couldn't help it. It's like, yeah, good match. Yes, you're a bin. He's taking the absolute life out. You know,
you took 1,000 votes off me. You're a
exactly. People are voting 1,000 votes against a bin over you, mate. But that's what I'm saying. You know, if it gets to this point, do they just drop him out? Do you know what I mean? Do they just get rid of it completely? That's how I see it going. You know, because they're doing all the votes totally different this year in the States. Up, they are doing a postal votes, I think, which they can start to vote for well in advance.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of chance of fraud going to happen this year.
Yeah, I think they're going to be well on top of that this year, or they're going to try to be well on top of it. After what happened last time, you could blatantly have the video footage of all these people posting vote after vote after vote, and you're like, well, how's that allowed? Sacks of votes being found up in the mountains and that, you know, it's very, very corrupt. So, I think the postal vote is the wrong way of doing it myself. But
it's there, isn't it? So they're going to be doing it. But, you know, also in that, good, you know, but it's what, you know, the conspiracy side are now coming out. Okay. So, and this is what I'm going to say, you know, because he's getting momentum. Even the British media are now noticing this. Okay. Because today, and this is my whole point of it, today, I'll read you the on Sky News. Okay. This was the headline. Okay. I'll read you the headline. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says a worm ate part of his brain and then died. He said he's been having memory loss and mental fogginess and he contacted. Is that contacted? Contacted. Yeah, a neurologist who spotted a dark spot on his brain scans. They said he had a tumor, but another doctor believed he had a dead parasite in his head. The independent US presidential candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has revealed that a worm ate part of his brain. It has emerged that the 70-year-old made a claim during a 2002 interview known as the deposition in his divorce proceedings from his second wife, Maria Richard Kennedy. At the time, he said his earnings power had been diminished by cognitive issues. He said that he'd been living with memory loss and mental fogginess in 2002 and had contacted neurologists who spotted the dark spot on his brain scans. They said he had a tumor, but another doctor reached a different conclusion, believing he had a dead parasite in his head. The New York Times reported in a 2012 interview, Mr. Kennedy said that the medic thought that the abdominally was caused by a worm that got into his brain and ate a portion of his brain, then died. Mr. Kennedy, the son of former U.S. Attorney General, ex-Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and nephew of former U.S. President John F. Kennedy, and the ex-Senator Ted Kennedy, also said that he was diagnosed of mercury poisoning. He said that the cognitive clearly, and I have short-term memory loss and have longer-term memory loss that affects me. He told the New York Times that he's certain that the mercury poisoning was caused by his diet that included lots of tuna. Tuna contains high level of mercury than any other fish, according to the NHS. Environmental laws, said anti-vaccine activist Mr. Kennedy, who is also known by his initials as RFK Jr., told the publishers, "I love tuna fish sandwiches. I eat them all the time." He said tests shows that the mercury levels were 10 times higher than what the Environmental Protection Agency sees as safe. The chemist told the same publication that the mercury levels which Mr. Kennedy described were high, but not surprising for someone consuming that quantity of the seafood. It goes on and on and on, to be fair. Mr. Kennedy also said change to his health scares, including getting more sleep and cutting down his fish intake. He told the papers that he would now recover from the memory loss and fogginess and had no after effects from the parasite, which he claimed he had not needed any treatment. Doctors who have treated the parasite infection for mercury poisoning, he said both conditions can sometimes permanently damage the brain function, but patients also can have temporary symptoms and a full recover of the publication reported. Mr. Kennedy said he did not know what type of parasite it was where they had contacted it, but several infection diseases expert and neurologist told New York Times that based on what Mr. Kennedy described, they believe it was likely a pork tapeworm larvae. So, is what I'm saying is my whole point of this being is that we get someone now made to look like an idiot.
Yeah, or mentally something that
Using
with
the
health
word,
issues.
yes, they're using words such as, you can see where it's going. He can't be fit to president if he's got memory loss.
And the way straight away they call him anti-vax.
Yeah.
And the way I've never been anti-vax, me and my kids and everyone's had the vaccine, he said, but there's clearly something to do with that. He just wants the vaccines cleaned up. That's, there's nothing wrong with that.
And that's,
Russ, 2 seconds, mate. I've got to grab a tissue because my nose is running like a tap.
Yes, all right. That's all right, mate. No worries. Go and get. Paul is just leaving, but I'll just, and this is what I'm trying to sort of get my point across is when, this feels like very much entry level. They're setting the seeds for him to look like he's worse than he is. They're setting that seed to bring a guy down that is making headways. So will he get in? There's a good chance he won't get in, but he can make waves to get, we do think it's a 2-horse race. Where he gets, who knows? Can he cause...
Do we know? Do we really think it's a 2-horse race? I mean, Biden, really?
Yes, but I the thing is, I can't see Trump getting in. I can't see it. I just can't see it. I don't know why. I just don't think it will happen. I think it's going to be glaringly obvious. I think it's going to be another one of them dodgy votes.
But then I suppose I never thought Khan would have got in again. So,
and that's my whole prognosis of it. I just don't think that we'll be looking at a second term for Donald Trump. I can't see it. Do I see Biden getting in? No, because I don't think they would allow it. I don't see they can allow it because of his age. And I'm not being ageist. That's not what I am. But you can see, that there's a lot of things that they can't hide against him anymore. They can't. No. They can't cover his tracks anymore. So potentially they could back someone like Kennedy, knowing obviously the lineage where he's come from. It would galvanize the state. In my eyes, I think it could be quite a positive thing throughout the world. Because Kennedy was quite a popular, JFK was quite a popular president.
Yeah, for people, he was massively popular, yeah.
He really was, and hence why, I think he was popped off for all different reasons, not just obviously UFO and things like that. I think there was a lot of other reasons. And,
he basically wanted to change the way things were going and things had been done. We need a bit like now. We need a drastic change, and like you say, the powers that be obviously didn't agree with that.
I just think all votes for presidents, prime ministers, whatever you call them, leaders of countries, It just needs to be as many votes you get. That's as simple as it gets. You know, I know the states do it by state. You have to win that state, and we do it by seats and crap like that. It just doesn't make to me. It should just be if you get 20,000 more votes than the next man, you win. Don't care what state you're in, what borough you're in, what county you're in, what part of the country you live in. It should just be based on how many votes that person gets.
I think it is like that in the States to a certain degree. It's only over here it's not like that.
Well, no,
I think we're one of the last countries not to have proportionate representation.
No, the States doesn't work like that. I'm sure it doesn't. They have to win, don't they? They have to win, they have to win their state. So they have to win Washington. So they get the vote for Washington. Then they get like that, doesn't it?
I think it just tells you what states have. I mean, like Texas is a Republican state, isn't it? And certain states are sort of Democratic states.
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with.
But it doesn't change. At the end of the day, providing you've got more states with the majority of that certain party, then.
Because I'm sure that Mr. Trump got more votes overall last year, against Biden. I'm sure he got more votes.
In certain states, he probably did.
I'm a little hold on. Trump versus Biden polls. Votes. What was the vote? Would it have been 2020? 2020?
2020, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a look. I can't read that. Sorry. Popular votes as a Democrat got 81,000 to Donald Trump 64,000. Sorry, you're right. But he won. Donald Trump won more states, didn't he? By the look of it.
Right, but the overall votes went Democratic.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I do apologise.
So yes, that is proportionate representation.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I do apologise, Paul. Do apologise on that one.
There's no need to apologise to me, mate. I wanted to know for sure myself.
I just remember watching, and I remember how you see the red and the blue on the on the screen coming in. But let's just hope that maybe that we do see, for a change, someone that actually will do it for the people of the States and won't make them look silly either way. Because as much as I like Trump, just his arrogance and his persona can make the the States look very jokified. If that makes sense.
The thing with Trump, I like Trump. I'd like to see Trump get back in. I think it will do some good to the States. But the trouble with that is you then get your radical side of parties come out, don't you? And I think when it comes to people like that with such a big persona, whereas I think with this Kennedy guy, I don't see it going quite that way.
No, I don't think he's got that, and I think he would shut it down.
Isn't it? It's what's needed.
I think he would shut it down.
Yeah,
he wouldn't go as far as what happened in the Capitol with him. I don't think he would have let that go. But good luck to all the candidates, whatever but do I think, I say it here now, I don't think he's going to get in. I do think we're going to be seeing, well, I hate to say it, I don't see any other win but a Biden win, but how they're going to do it is totally against. I just don't see them letting Trump in. I do not let them see him getting Kennedy in, just because of obviously his views. But I don't know how they're going to let Biden carry on. But we shall see. We shall see when it comes to that. But no, I just wanted to sort of address that because that's what was on my mind all day, to be fair. I just needed to get that out there. But Paul, we are going to change it massively now. We're going to change it right up, and we're not really, because it's still another conspiracy that we talk about. And when we see things in the sky, okay, over the last few weeks, that the weather is getting a lot better, and we had one hell of a storm, didn't we, last week? And we'll start there because I've got a question for everybody who's listening. Why is it that we only get storms at night in the UK?
Like that.
When do you ever get thunder and lightning lasting like that during the day?
I mean, did you wake up and watch it, Russ?
Oh, I couldn't help but do it because
It was
like my bathroom light had been left on. It just lit up the whole bedroom all night. And I just thought, well, there's no point. I might as well. And it was the thunder was rattling.
Continuous.
It was rattling. It was rattling loose things. I've got like a little bar area there where the little, like bottles stand. And you could hear the rattles of the bottles touching. If they were touching, it was going, and you could hear the chinking of the glass. So I'm thinking,
something
like that. My first, to be fair, it was quite hard to look up at the sky at some points because it was so bright. And I know they estimated it was about, 526 lightning strikes per minute.
Yeah.
Over the Brighton and Bournemouth coastline, they gauged that. And it was just beyond crazy because you heard it coming in and you heard it leave. And it was not to say, well, I am, because I don't know why it was done at night. It's always done at night. And it's no different to what's gone on in Dubai. And I would love to see, Paul sent me a video of, the way, the weather front that went into Dubai and South Africa.
The blip, they're calling it.
Yeah, there's like, now, I can't get, I generally can't get the video up. I do apologise because I can't get it to you any other way at the moment. But it virtually says on radar, it's seeing these dark clouds. So it's done in colour formation. So if there's a storm coming up, they see a different colour formation and they can track it. They know it's in the sky. Well, they're calling this the blip, and it is physically dark purple. They're tracking it, and they're saying it all starts from one central area, aren't they, Paul? It's coming from an island
just off of Antarctica.
Yeah, Bavette. Is it called Bavita? Something.
Well, if you look at it on Google Earth, there is no actual name. Name doesn't come up, but it is called something like that. Yeah.
But if you zoom in on Google Earth, you see it.
You can see it, I believe.
Yeah,
but it doesn't actually come up with a name.
No.
Sorry, I'm just trying to look for a video, Russ, just so I can get a picture of it up, and I could just place it to the camera, just so you get an idea of what it actually looks like on the radar.
It's just like a great big purple. You can see land mass and just like radar coming in, and it is blocking everything out. And what amazes me out of it all is that you're seeing wave patterns, so they're getting where the waves are going and how the waves are reacting to this thing, and the waves are moving with it, aren't they? And there's no boats going across its path, but I sort of expect that, because I wouldn't expect a boat to head for a storm. I'd be pretty much assumed that they would see this as well.
Apparently, none of the boats have witnessed any of the waves that it's saying is in that area. So, which is kind of bizarre.
But I'm wondering. I wonder if it's what I'm saying is that storm that come over us. Okay, I don't think it would have come from Antarctica, but that's it.
It's like a big dark mass that comes up on the.
Hold on, stay there. Keep it up. There you go, guys. I can stay here. That blob is what was heading towards Dubai. Okay, that is what was, and you can see the little white lines on it. That's the waves that are represented. So if you are listening on Pulse Talk, please head over to Journey.
The company that uses this, that produces this radar, said it was a malfunction, saying it wasn't an anomaly, however you say it.
An anomaly.
It was an actual a malfunction in the system. It was a blip, but it's all fixed now. But they're still seeing it today. They're still getting this thing coming up. There's new ones starting pretty much every week. Just before there's a major disaster, Brazil is completely underwater. And this thing come up just next to Brazil, and now that's underwater. Biggest floods I've ever seen.
It has been over. Strange. It's been over the States. This purple cloud that's been witnessed over the States on their radar. So I'd be very interested to see if there would be any videos coming out in the next couple of weeks regarding if this blip was what was over us at this time. When we had this big storm. And I don't know about you, but in the past, when we've had these storms in the UK, you open the door and you can feel the static in the air. Did you feel that this time? See, I didn't feel anything like it.
I didn't open the window.
I opened the door.
No.
I literally stood at the patio doors and had the door wide open, looking up.
I'm up on the top floor. This was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just sort of stood at the window looking at it, thinking, "My God, I would have got soaked if I opened my window." So, I mean, it was raining that heavy.
It was, but the rain didn't last all the way through that.
No.
It come down, but it didn't last very long. I'd say probably about 45 minutes at max. The heavy torrential rain. And I get all that. But I do think that was hiding something. And I do think that's, I'm going to sound like an absolute nutcase, but that to me just signifies that we was hiding something. If the big mothership was up there, like Independence Day. That sort of size ship was leaving or coming in or whatever. That's what it felt like. It was definitely a smoke screen. And then this is why we're always getting these storms at night. The meteorologists will come on and say, it's all to do with the atmosphere. It's all to do with the high pressures, the low pressures. We get hot during the day, cold during the night. 2 pressures meet, bang, storm. But when I was a kid, we had storms during the day. There's.
Yeah, but I remember when I was a kid. I remember you knew when there was a storm like that coming because all the flying ants would come out. And the only time you saw these flying ants was when that storm would come. and you thought
Yeah.
right, within an hour, 2 hours, there's a storm, and sure enough, within 2 hours, that storm was hitting hard. I haven't seen them flying ants about for. Well, if I ever do see them there, it don't mean the storm's coming.
But I only remember. I must admit, I remember probably about what, probably 8-9 years ago, we had the really electric storm, lightning storms that were over us.
Hmm.
That lasted nights. If I remember, it was pretty much every night that we'd have a lightning storm. But we're not getting them through the day. But where I work, I won't say where I work, but there's been cases in the past, prior to I was there, years ago, where people have been struck by lightning. We've had 3 cases of people being struck by lightning on our site during the day. Now, I don't think I have seen a storm during the day for years. I've seen rain, but I can't say come 1 o'clock in the afternoon that we've had a thunder, lightning, torrential rain.
Oh, so see,
When
now
was the last time you can remember that?
I see them quite often where I work. I'm often going out there filming it, sending it to the wife or something, and you get lightning, it rattles the building. But then we're on the Thames Estuary as well. So I wonder if that's anything to do with it.
Potentially. I just don't know. But I haven't seen a decent storm
Not
in
like
the
that
daytime for.
I mean, we'll get the odd flash of thunder and heavy rain, but then it passes as quick as it
That's
comes.
what I'm saying. But when have we ever had a storm like that during the day?
Oh no, yeah, God no, I can't remember that.
You get the 1 clap of thunder, 2 flashes of light.
Yeah.
And then torrential rain. We get the rain. I'm not saying I'm not dispersing the rain. We get, I think we've had enough rain in the UK over the last couple of months to say, and they're telling us it's the hottest April on record. Really?
Every month
Are
this
we
year,
really
it's been
listening
the
to
hottest on record. The
Yeah.
hottest on, of course it has. Yeah.
Heidi is saying, I experienced thunder and a snow a couple of times here in Denmark.
Thunder
It
and
used to
snow,
be
I love that.
snow was
That's-
common every year. But I used to remember as a kid playing out on the street in my old place and having to go in because you could hear the thunder coming and you see the lightning in the distance. You could feel the cold air. You could feel the static in the air coming in. But you don't get that anymore. And I'm just wondering what that is hiding. Obviously, you do that at night because it's going to hide everything. That can hide everything. That storm blocked out the whole of the southeast of the UK. Where it got up to north, I don't know. But that blocked out from Bournemouth, Southampton, up into London. Where it dispersed, I don't quite know. But it was a massive storm.
Mm.
And I just can't help but think that was hiding something up there. But what? I don't know. I really don't know.
It just see again. It just, to me, it just comes as too much of a coincidence. The fact that we've got so much technology now when it comes to weather modification, weather engineering, this and that, and we're seeing weather that we've never seen before. I mean, to me, the two go hand in hand. There's got to be some kind of influence to it. Let's crank it up to, just under full way. See what we get. let's see what we can produce with this. Don't get me wrong.
I get it. I do get it, Paul. I do get it. Even the Dubai government have virtually admitted that there was cloud seeding to try and disperse it. Could have turned it up, cranked it back up. Yeah. But I don't know. I just something doesn't feel right about it. I don't like
No,
the
but I'm
fact
saying
of,
what I'm saying is it could be a mixture of the two, Russ. I mean, so yes, they could be hiding something, but if they've got the technology now to be able to hide that thing through weather modification, the two are going hand in hand here. You know, you
massively. I totally agree. Totally agree. I think that's probably what I was probably trying to get at more than anything, you know. But have we had always had this technology? Have we always had this technology of, I haven't seen lightning like that for a long, long time.
yeah.
It was just like a purple light in the sky at most times. And the clapper, there was one clap of thunder that, well, I don't know if I, needed to change my underwear at one point because I thought it was going to all come through. It was loud. It was loud. And I was like, what the hell? And I think that's what woke me up, to be fair.
Yeah.
I can sleep pretty much through anything. And that was just, very odd. It just felt all odd, but give us to it in the day. That's what my whole, my whole point of this is. It was just hiding something. That's why they did it at night, because they knew people would be half asleep, getting up. There's not many people out on the roads. So if someone said, "Oh, I saw something," they'd go, "No, you was asleep, mate. You just woke up. It's a storm."
Yeah.
Everything was
Your eyes
covered.
were affected by the lightning.
Yeah, everything was covered.
But if you was ever going to disguise something, it would be constant lightning like that, wouldn't it? Because you would never be able to pick something out, because it was literally like a strobe going off.
And the sound, I haven't heard thunder like that for a hell of a long time. It was consistent. If it was, if it was consistently moving something or hiding engine noise of some form, if they have engine noise, I'm not saying it was, it was perfect. Whatever it was a perfect coup, because they had all bases covered.
Yeah.
All bases covered to move, if anything, or get it out of the atmosphere. Just happened to be our time, I know it sounds silly, but maybe it was they were visiting us this week, this month. Maybe our time to see them or whatever, rather than Dubai was the week before. The States, with all their hurricanes, they've had, they've had a few hurricanes and tornadoes over the last couple of weeks.
Massive ones as well. Again, this is what I'm saying, it's ramping up. And again, is it because they're going down this climate agenda? I don't know.
But even that fits, doesn't it? Even that fits. But the one thing that
Look how bad our weather's getting. It's all to do with man-made climate change. We've never had a storm like this before. You need to start paying more taxes to change the climate.
But the one thing I will say is the States don't worry about what time of day it is.
No.
They'll do it midday. The only difference is it's being a day that you see it. You physically see it.
I mean, do you know what? It's awful. I mean, I really do feel, and I hope this doesn't come out wrong. I really feel for the people that lives it does affect. Sometimes when they're wiping out their house and taking away loved ones and this and that. But I see a video the other day, whether it was the recent one that happened, a tornado. I mean, this thing was massive. I mean, massive. It was like something out of a film. And I'm pretty sure these were storm chasers. So, and as crazy as it sounds, it's something I'd love to try. I'd probably brick it. I would brick it, but I'd love to see something like that in front of it. I mean, crazy. But anyway, yeah, so they're chasing up with this thing, and this car got battered in there. It looked like an elephant had just sat on it by the time they finished filming and come out. But as it was going on, the noise was unbelievable. And the storm chaser in the driver's seat was literally just sort of carrying down, and he was screaming at the top of it. He obviously thought, that's it, I'm dead, I'm gone. But luckily, how they survived is beyond me. And they got out the car, and it was literally like an elephant that just sat on it. It had a door open to let them out is beyond me. And I think, I mean, I'd love to see a tornado in real life like that, just for the sheer amazement and the power of nature, like, you know. But if anything like that happened to me, my God, if that didn't kill me, a heart attack would have done.
They designed vehicles to go into it, didn't they? Random, you know. Yeah, I'd love to do it, but I would be screaming like you, Paul. You know, you're not the only one just there. I would be hacking myself as well. Absolutely. But we move on. We're still in the same context here because Paul caught something this morning. Okay. Paul caught something this morning that is very odd in the sky. I'll play the video. We are past the watershed, so just be aware there is swearing in this. Paul didn't know I was going to use this video. So please, you know, be aware of Paul's swearing. All right. But I am going to play the video and see what you think, guys.
What the actual fuck is that, Russ? Really?
So, as you saw there, guys, that there was an X in the sky.
With a line going through the X.
Yeah. My phone has just turned itself off. You know that? That's weird. It's really odd. Really odd. I'm going to sneeze. Don't know why. I'm not. If I am.
Bless you.
I do apologise. So I'm going to play it again. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. It's only 16 seconds, so I'm just going to play it again and have a closer look, guys. Okay, have a closer look at the pattern this has made. Do you genuinely believe that this is aircraft that has just coincidentally made this pattern in the sky? Have a look again and just look at the pattern. Focus on the pattern, guys.
What the actual fuck is that, Russ? Really?
And the more I watch it, the more I find it unbelievable.
Yeah, because two of the lines start and stop. It's not continuous. There's only one continuous line that goes straight through the middle horizontally. The other two start and stop. You can see the start and stop of them.
It's ludicrous. And it was quite evident, obviously, come lunchtime within the Essex area, it became very overcast. You sent that to me around about 10:30.
Yeah.
I think. So did you take it and sent it straight away, did you, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent it 24 minutes past 10. So, and once again, but is what I don't understand is the pattern that made. What is that signifying? And I would like to do a bit of research. I didn't really have the time tonight, but going into that, what's that symbolic of? Is there a pattern in some, you know, are we looking at Mason stuff in the sky here? You know, the Da Vinci Code sort of stuff and all the Illuminati? Because that was, to me, that looks symbolic. There is no way that is not symbolic in the sky. I don't see, unless the bloke guiding the airplanes in the sky is taking the P and got a bit of sense of humour, So
Always having a game of noughts and crosses with his mate.
Yeah. Well, look, if we get him to change his direction just a tiny bit, that one to do that, we've got a perfect X in the sky and we'll see it. Now, I don't know if that is correct or not. Is that my phone or your phone?
It's not mine.
Can you hear it?
No.
It's like it's really odd sound. And people are saying I've had a couple of text messages saying we're freezing, but I'm not getting nothing on my end to say
You're
we're
freezing.
freezing. Yeah. No, I'm all right. I'm all right at the moment. I've got a strong connection. It might be the internet somewhere else. So, where you gone? There. Oh, wrong button. But no, sorry. Going back to your video, Paul. What was your thoughts straight away when you saw it? I know you swore on it, so you were shocked. So I could hear the shock, but still, I'd like to know what you was thinking at the time.
I don't know, to be fair, Russ. It was so. My mate who works next to me, I think I've got him looking at the skies more than myself now, because that's my little fag break area. You know, we walk out there, and the first thing we do is look up the skies, and we can kind of tell what kind of day we're going to have by the amount of chemtrails we see. So like the last 2 days, we've looked up the sky, and it's been blue sky, and we're seeing the proper contrails, you know, that you can see them dissipating as the plane goes by. And, you know, the temperatures have been the same today as what they was yesterday, pretty much. So why is it one day they're like that and the next day it's a constant thick white line and you see it expand into that white haze and then the clouds come in the afternoon? Whereas yesterday it didn't happen. We just had normal planes flying out and you think, and you might get the odd one come by. But yeah, so we both sort of walked out and, well, as you can see, it was right in front of the shutter as you walk out. You couldn't miss it. And we both just sort of looked up and went, what the hell was that? I mean, it's funny. The first symbol I saw was that, like, it's like that Blair Witch Project symbol, you know, like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's symbolic.
Yeah, I think if that middle line was a little bit lower, then yeah, it'd be like that. But that's the first thing that sort of come into my head. I just thought, I don't know why, I just thought Blair Witch Project, that looks like. I mean, I'll probably look at the Blair Witch Project symbol now and think, oh yeah, it's nothing like it. But that was the first thing that came into my head. But yeah, I don't know, Russ. I really don't know. And to be fair, I didn't actually notice the stop-start of the other two lines until just watching it back now.
As I say, I was gobsmacked by it.
Time because the sun was so bright. Sorry,
go, Paul. The sun was so bright.
Yeah, it was hard to look at it for any length of time because that sun was so bright. It's like, you know, when you're like, oh my God, really? Sort of holding your hand up, trying to look at it.
It gobsmacked him. It really did. Because I say, I was really busy at work today. And I was looking at messages, but I couldn't get to reply to them. You know, when you read something and you forget to reply to it because something else has come on. And I managed to sit down at lunchtime and looked at it and I thought, I wished I could have gone out. If I looked at it at the right time, I could have tried to get outside to see if I could have seen it. But yeah, but I replied to your message when it became a little bit overcast. The heat was still there, but it was definitely overcast.
Then we had that white haze come over again.
Yeah, and it was very bizarre. It was one of them things that was like, there's something not right with that.
Yeah.
There is something not right with what is in the sky there. But even speaking to my missus on the way home, she looked in the sky and she said this morning, you know, she knows a difference now between what a chemtrail is and a normal plane, which you know, it is brilliant. You know, for me,
it does rub off to it. Yeah,
it must do. And straight away, she said, I looked up. It was lovely this morning. You saw them dissipating, and within 20 minutes, the whole sky was overcast. she tried to get a bit of sun this afternoon in the back garden. She said, "Them bloody chemtrails have ruined my afternoon sun." You know, I can't blame. You can't blame me for that one.
Yeah.
But no, I found it amazing. I really did. The video was, that just can't have happened by coincidence.
Well, no, not
Right,
even. It looked like it was sort of flying up and down rather than going across the sky the way it was. I don't know. It was just very bizarre.
But how do you get planes to meet like that in the middle? That you're talking about what? I'll play it once again. I'm going to play it one more time.
What the actual fuck is that, Russ? Really?
So we're talking 3 planes that have got to be in the vicinity at the right time, leaving their jet stream. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and say each one of them lines that we've shown on that video is a chemtrail, because I don't know if you would say they were, Paul, because did you see them dissipate, or did you see them? Did they get thick lines, or did they just dissipate? Do you?
No,
remember?
I looked at 10 minutes later. They were still there, barely visible. They had spread out, but they had gone right under the sun by then as well.
Yeah. So we could go along the lines of they were potentially chemtrails. Now, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of coincidence to try and get that, then that. You're talking about spot on, like trigonometry there. You are.
Yeah. I mean, look,
everything
could have been a coincidence. Yeah, probably could have been, but I don't know. I'm always looking at the sky outside my place, Russ. You know that. Whenever I see anything weird or bizarre, I'll take a picture or I'll film it and I'll send it to you. I've never seen that. So it's not like it's a normal flight path, is it? Because otherwise, I'm surely I would have seen that kind of pattern before, and I would have sent that over.
But then that's your thing to look at. That is your thing to look at now, because you could debunk that tomorrow. If it comes up again tomorrow and the day after, then it's a flight path.
Yeah, I doubt very much it will, because
I'm with you.
I've been here over 20 years, Russ. I've never seen that. So
no, obviously I've seen X's in the sky.
Yeah,
we've all seen the X's in the sky. We get, but do we get the whatever you would call that? For me, I'd like to see, might try and stop the still, if that makes sense. Get the still and put, like a right angle triangle on to see what the
because that's what I was thinking first of all. I was thinking, like, is it meant to be kind of like a pentagram type sort of thing, or that kind of symbol? And I was doing that in my own head, trying to look at it, trying to get a circle or a triangle around it. That might be worth an idea, actually. What sort of draw it out? And,
I just, if I do maybe a quick, have a look, symbols in the sky. Let's just have a look. See if there's anything images wise that we can see, symbols in the sky that would represent anything like that. Nothing has poked out quickly, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's nothing on there that would absolutely go, wow, look at that, look at this. There's nothing, no. But then looks like, do you put it down as a kanji, but then again, you look at hidden symbolisms of, you could probably go down a massive rabbit hole with it. You could probably
Yeah, but then
absolutely.
you run the risk of finding a similar symbol and putting that to it and thinking,
Yeah.
well, you know, it's one of them, isn't it?
X marks the spot. X marks the spot. But that was a very weird, very odd. And when you sent it to me, I to be fair, when you sent it, I didn't realise it was a video that you took at first.
Oh,
I
right,
just
you thought it was another one.
Yeah. I thought I won't, if it goes on, I'm not going to be able to watch it that quickly. So I thought I'll watch it when I get 5 minutes at lunchtime. And then I thought, oh no, that's Paul sent that video. That's well, bloody hell, And everything fitted today. Everything fitted today from watching that video, from then it going overcasting when I was sort of watching that video around 12-ish. And then for even my missus to comment it's gone overcast. So there's a good chance that they was obviously cloud seeding today. The UK.
But this is the thing that winds me up, Russ. So this is one of they're basically openly admitted it now, haven't they? The chemtrails and that, and they say, oh yeah, but there's no chemicals in it. We're cloud seeding. Yeah, it's been about since the 50s. So what we do, but their explanation is, yeah, but we find a cloud and we seed it, meaning making that cloud bigger, more moisture, and then that's not what they're doing.
No, there's no cloud.
You're talking about a clear blue sky. You're not seeding nothing. You're creating the cloud.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's just the water vapor turning into ice crystals. I mean, now, come on, really?
Yeah, but you know the difference between when you look up in the sky. You know the difference.
Tell, can't you?
You can definitely tell. Okay, for the benefit of balance, you can definitely tell the difference between two different vapors in the sky.
Yeah.
From if it's coming from a plane or if it's coming for another reason. There's two different things that happen in the sky from a plane. What they are, and what they do, for all intents and purposes of the argument, we could get them round the wrong way. The ones that disperse really longly could be just normal planes, but the ones that stay really thin could be the ones that have got chemtrails in it.
Yeah, I don't, because the whole idea, isn't it? I mean, like I say, I keep going back to Bill Gates. He's openly admitted that that's what he wants to do. It's like silver iodide and aluminium, and this to reflect the sun to cool the planet. That's their plan. That's the Agenda 2030. Spray the skies, excuse me, to reduce the sun's radiation from coming down and things like that. And there's patents on it, for Christ's sake. So it's definitely a thing. Why would you patent something that ain't true, that ain't there? But I remember when I was a kid, Russ, I used to always look at the sky and look at the planes. And I remember we used to be at that competition, what plane had the longest, contrail, because you'd watch them literally dissipate as it went through. We never had one that stayed in the sky.
No.
Never.
No.
So why are you still getting it on some planes now, but then some just stay and linger? What's different now to when I was a kid growing up? And it's only been the last sort of decade I've noticed it getting worse and worse and worse.
Benefit of an argument, and I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not, but someone will come out and say, "Could be different fuel. We've got more pollution."
Yeah, but then why are some planes doing it and some planes ain't? If it's a different fuel,
different engines, there's always going to be some answer, someone from some.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Not like I'm agreeing with him.
I totally, mate. I've heard them all. Honestly, I've heard them all because I follow a lot of the chemtrail sites and that, and some of them are so blatant. You can literally see them as they switch them on and switch them off. Like, how can you explain that? And it's the some comments that come on there. I mean, it just you think, really? And you believe that? Look at it, turn on and off. It's bizarre.
Yeah, and you do see it. You see it, and you know, when I have people around me that don't necessarily understand everything and believe in everything, but they will pass comment or things like that, you know that their eyes are seeing different things.
Yeah, oh, yeah, 100%.
You know that their eyes are seeing totally different things to what we are. You know, they're joining in what we are looking at. You know, so that to me says a lot.
Mm.
It says a lot to me when someone close to me says, "Oh, look at that!" You know, you know, I can't discourage that. If that makes me believe that, well, you know the difference between what you know and you know something different. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, today was definitely the day of cloud seeding, or whatever you want to call it, day, because that's what it felt like.
Cloud creating.
Because there was the most beautiful on the way to work this morning. I think I left around about 4:45 this morning to go to work, and the sun was beautiful. It was just coming up over, sort of Cash's Well. I went out that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you looked over sort of the hills, I went
Nice
the country
orange
lane
red.
today.
Nice
Yeah.
orangey red. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I thought, I'm going to stop and take a picture, but you can't take a picture of just how wonderful it looked. And the sun was huge. You know, it weren't just, when you put your finger like that and you could put your eye and see it. And I'm talking about, it was like this in the sky. It was just lovely. It was just beautiful. I just wish I could take a picture and just show everybody, but you can't. And then when I got to work and there was a cloud in the sky, the sun was coming out, you could feel, it's always this time of year, it gets sort of a little bit cold at night, doesn't it? A little bit cold at night.
Moisture in the morning.
Yeah. And that's what it was. And then come lunchtime, the heat was there, but it was very overcast. Not dark. I'm not saying you couldn't see the sun, but it was that haze, like you said, the white haze, which was about. And yeah, so we knew it was happening today. For what reason? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. For the benefit, once again, playing devil's advocate here, what are the reasonings for these chemtrails? What are the reasonings for it? We as conspiracy theorists look at the bad side of the negative side of things because that's what we're trained, not trained, but that's what our brains lead us to. But for the argument of balance, maybe we need these to bring the sun out for the weekend. I don't know. I'm just making an excuse. But do you know what I mean? We
100%.
Don't know what,
What if they are genuinely saving the planet, and we're up there ridiculed? But then if they were genuinely saving the planet, they'd make it more outspoken, wouldn't they? I don't know.
Yeah, or I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to play, given the art of balance, because this is what the show is about. The balance of everything. But hey ho, we've come towards the end of the show. We've had a good debate over 2 topics. We've stuck to 2 topics tonight. Do you know that?
That's good.
2 topics. And we never really went off topic on either one of them.
No.
We stuck to the topic. So all I can say is good luck to Robert F. Kennedy. I really do hope, because I think he would be good for the conspiracy world.
Yeah, I do.
And backing, for the bits that he talks about. I think that makes good sense. And, keep your eyes out, look up in the skies for these chemtrails, guys, because the more you see, the more you actually get to learn it. Know what they are, we'll never know. What they're for, we'll never know. But they're up there. So thank you for everybody who has joined us tonight. Paul, thank you for joining us tonight.
No, thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know why I say thank you, because you're here every week virtually. So It's a pleasure talking to you again tonight, Paul.
And to you, Russell.
I don't know what, you know, I don't want to say thank you for joining me because you're not. You join me every week. You're my co-host. How do you end the program? I don't know. I don't know. Pleasure.
Aye. Give me an ending.
Yeah, give me an ending. Yeah, thanking my co-host. How do you thank a co-host? But no, great again, guys. Big hugs from Heidi. Thank you ever so much, Heidi. Take care.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thank you for everybody that has listened over on Pulse Talk Radio. We really do appreciate it. Take care, and we will see you all again next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for everyone that has joined us over on YouTube and Facebook tonight. Thank you for listening to us. Sometimes you may find it a bit boring, I know that. But hey-ho, it's our opinions and things like that. It might not fit with what you like to hear, but me and Paul need to get it off our chest sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you want to...
Basically, me and Russ having a chat. And if you want to join us,
Exactly. Things that pop up, do you know what I mean? Things that don't fit right. That's what, you know, makes the show. Just odd things. And, you know, I know the Kennedy thing isn't a part of the UK and things like that, but it's definitely got some form of conspiracy behind it. So probably come November, the end of November, we will know what the outcome will be. If it is,
or will have a conspiracy behind it.
Yeah, definitely. Something's coming. We know that. It isn't going to be anything. Whatever the outcome is, doesn't matter if Mr. Trump wins by a landslide, there'll be something against the voters for that. Whoever wins, there's going to be. But I don't think people can necessarily argue with Kennedy because it would be a vote, wouldn't it? If Biden wins, we know where we're going.
Yeah.
If Trump wins, we know where we're going. But if Kennedy wins, I think it would just, okay, we've got someone in who ain't a muppet and we've got someone in an arrogant arsehole.
Yeah.
We've got someone in that can make America okay. Maybe, but we'll see. All right. Take care, guys, and we'll see you all again next week.
Bye-bye.
I have to watch